Straight males of Reddit, what's the gayest thing you've ever done? I had a dude suck whipped cream off the tip of my penis. I got a boner while reading some of these comments. That's pretty gay. Edit gay men of Reddit, please stop messaging me, I don't want to be turned. Used to be a game where you'd put your hand on another guy's knee and slowly move it toward their groin until one of you chickened out. I never lost. Was a medic in the army. First day at my unit, a guy walked in, whipped his dig out, and asked if it looked infected to me. We've been best friends ever since and my son's named after him. I let my friend kiss me. He came from a really religious household and was finally realizing that he was gay. He asked if he could kiss me to see if it felt different than kissing a girl. He is my friend and I had kissed people in theater, so I kind of figured, why not? After the kiss, which included more tongue than I expected, which was any, he pulled back and said, thanks, and then immediately, frock. I'm definitely gay. *edit, you guys are all too kind. How is this post still getting awards? ***, edit again, 1,000 upvotes. Hey man. I haven't seen you jerk off lately. You okay? The Navy. I have a friend who is bisexual. Sometimes he jokes about eating my ass and sometimes I joke about it as well. At times I think he really does want to eat my ass. As a gay man, I'm just gonna say, some of you straight men are just fascinating creatures. British military, mid-90s. Imagine 5 drunk hairy-assed sailors dressed as Spice Girls with huge balloon boobs. Pub crawling around a quaint little English village. No underwear under the mini skirts and offering a free look at the goods for anyone stupid enough to look at them. TLDR. Sailors. Beer. I was Scary Spice. I've always wanted to be pegged by a woman while frocking another woman. Well, that fantasy hasn't played out to this day, but what did happen once is that I had a otherwise hetero style threesome with my wife and guy. He was young, fit, soft-featured, and bi. My wife was sitting on his face and, in the heat of the moment, I got a whim of inspiration. I sat on his cock. Then I grabbed my wife's hips, pulled her back, and started frocking her doggy style. His dig went in and out of my ass as I humped my wife. It was mind-blowing pleasure. Even better than what I had fantasized. I only lasted a few minutes and had one of the most intense orgasms I have ever experienced in my life. I'm still not into men, straight. But if the circumstances, chemistry were right, I'd do it again. When I was in grade 8 I had this weird crush on a dude. Totally threw me in for a loop cause I was pretty sure I was into girls. And then it faded after like 2 weeks and then never happened again. Must have been hormones at the beginning of puberty. But I think about it a lot. 2-week gay period. Definitely have kissed a couple dudes at the bar though. These things happen. But less of a gay thing and it's never my idea lol. I had sex with a guy. Turns out I'm only into anal when it's with a chick. I kissed a dude because I thought I was gay. Technically, got in a hot tub naked with 3 gay guys and we talked about relationships. But really, removed the gay element and it was just 4 dudes talking about life. No biggie. You should tell your dad about this, was the big laugh line. I was at a gay bar with some gay friends and this young guy wearing a friggin' suit walked up and asked me for a dance. I told him I wasn't gay and he said, I just came out and I want my first dance to be with someone beautiful. I did a slow dance with the dude and went on my way. Dude deserved it for that A+ line. My straight friends once told me, straight, that they would have banged me if I was a girl. Worked at a gay bar for years. People were friendly, tips were really good, and honestly the guys kept setting me up with their female friends. 10 out of 10 would do again. Hugs. Cuddling. Pulling friends to me by their belt loops. A bit coworker of mine has asked me if I'm into him. Nah. Just not shy about affection. This same human, I have kissed his forehead and told him that I love him. Exact words were, love ya, buddy. Penis doesn't interest me, but it hurts to not be affectionate. Ejaculated in a guy's ass. I had my best friend suck my dig when I was drunk once. Knew I was straight about 2 seconds in. Made out with guys due to spin the bottle. Balanced out by also making out with girls in the same games. One of the dudes was a much better kisser than the other participants. Went with 3 gay friends to a dive gay bar, with gay porn videos playing on screens. A denude live dancer. That kind of bar. Had a frocking blast. Got drunk. Got hit on. Flattered. Danced as if I wasn't straight. Fun as sit. But my gay friends who I went with were horrified about how skeevy the place was. They told me, you can never tell anyone we came here. Never. ... question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, ... Like, I was the straight one, but I was cool with it. What's up with that? Great time, though. Edit. One thing I love about this post is that a lot of people are replying. Is that you? George. Vito. Is that you? So I guess this happens a lot. Dash. Pretended to be my friend's boyfriend to prevent him from being hit on from this guy he didn't want to hit on him. We put our arms around each other and I kissed him on the temple. Lol. Gay or straight? No means no. And I'll do this 1,000 times more if I have to. Me and the boys once took turns taking a 10-minute ice bath at a hotel, then measuring who had the smallest peen by the end of their ice bath. The smallest person won. Naked 4 a.m. drunk bench press session in the back garden of a mate's house. With 2 other mates. We were drunk. There was a bench. Inevitably, benching happens. I can't remember who thought first. This would be funnier if I was naked. Probably me. Made out with a close friend when he came out to me as gay. He wasn't really sure how I would respond when he told me he thought I was attractive. I didn't know how I was gonna respond either. He decided to just go for it and kiss me. Honestly, best makeout session I had. Every girl I made out lacked the passion he did. Never made out with him again. Joined the Marine Corps. If I drew up a line chart of my life with X equals age and Y equals number of IRL digs seen, there is an exponential spike well into the hundreds on my first day of boot camp. When I was a teenager, me and my 5 friends were alone in the dorms while everyone else went on break. My 4 friends decided that it would be fun to have a masturbation contest to see who can come the fastest. I said hell nah, and became the officiator. They all went to separate corners of the room and readied the porn in their phones. When I shout, go, they start jerking off simultaneously and the losers have to pay the winner's dinner. I was at a dorm party and we were all drunk. One of our friends is the annoying loud drunk and happens to be gay. He was complaining how it's been ages since he kissed a dude. Bro. I just wanted a chill mood so I could eat my pizza rolls and he was killing the vibe. So I grabbed his head, made out with him hardcore for a bit, and threw him on the ground. He just laughed and said, wow. Every now and again. Fit the vibe I was going for way better. So no regrets. Went on a cruise with my best bro I hadn't seen in a year after I moved a few states away. The boat docks in Cozumel, and we both walk off the boat shirtless. No plan. But I eventually suggest renting mopeds. We get to the rental place, and he asks, can I just ride on the back of yours? Me. Okay. That's how we spent our afternoon. 2 shirtless guys cruising around on a moped and he's got his arms around my waist. What's great is that someone from the cruise had taken our picture on the moped, and when he got married, his brother's best man speech was actually a PowerPoint presentation that incorporated that picture. His brother said something like, some of you may not know this, but X hasn't always dated women. Had a crush on a guy back in high school or so I thought. Turned out the guy was a girl hiding in a hoodie with a buzz cut. I was seriously questioning my sexuality until I found out. Edited. Wow, this seems to have really resonated with a lot of people. So here is how the story ends. We started dating. It was an incredible time. While we didn't last, we kept in contact and we are both happy in our relationships, and the time we had I will treasure them as I cringe at them. I giggled like a schoolgirl when a gay guy complimented me in New York in 2014. It wasn't the fact that I was flattered by the compliment. I was very flattered, but the fact that I uttered the most effeminate laugh I've ever had, or heard, from said compliment. I was in New York very often that summer after breaking up with a terrible, emotionally abusive girlfriend, and I got hit on by several gay dudes there. A big thanks to the LGBTQ community for helping me feel good about myself again that year. Edit. I didn't expect this to be received so well. Thanks so much. Edit 2. And yes, aside from hating and fearing a bunch of the obvious things going on in our world, I'm a very happy, and happily married, person. Now. I once watched 300. Seriously though, I once held hands with a gay male friend at a party because he was ridiculously handsome and he wanted to discourage a stalker girl who wouldn't take no for an answer. Well, I've kissed a couple of dudes. I do this thing at parties, where I'll go out to the smokers and yell, I'll kiss anyone who gives me a cigarette. Works almost every time. I worked security at a gay bar, and while selling Jell-O shots at the door during a holiday party, I let a big bear man kiss me on the cheek because he asked nicely. After I gave him a free Jell-O shot for buying like 10 of them. Edit. Since this blew up, it was 2009. Well before the pandemic. I spent this past New Year's Eve sitting on the couch with my wife, drinking cheap champagne and falling asleep before enjoying any of the snacks we had prepared, like the parents we are. Kissed a dude. Edit. Actually 2 dudes. Sent a gay dude a few shirtless flex pics of myself. I already had on my MySpace at the time. And left him a 30 seconds long VM basically berating him. His thing I guess is straight dudes demeaning him. Easiest $80 I ever made. One other guy wanted to pay me $300 to drive to Ann Arbor so he could smell my feet. I passed on that though. Lol. Double penetration. Using the same orifice as the other guy at the same time. This isn't my story, but I saved it from a similar thread ages ago because it made me laugh. Thanks again, you based intellect. When I was 8 years old, my dad bought me the original PlayStation. I was so excited that I rode my bike to my friend's house and ran up the stairs to his room to tell him to come play it with me. As soon as I told him, he grabbed my face and gave me a big smooch on the lips. Homie was totally heterosexual but could not contain his love and excitement for new video games. Probably the weirdest moment of my life. We played Crash Bandicoot and never spoke of it again. I Frenched a guy in a very drunken game of truth or dare. I have to say the big difference was the feel of stubble, and the more aggressive tongue action. I was in the army, in combat arms. I think it's safe to say that the military is full of the gayest straight people you'll ever meet. I had 2 fellow soldiers jump into the same shower stall, naked as the day they were born, and wash each other's backs just to frock with our commander when he walked in. Gave oral to another man. Wasn't sure if I was completely straight or not. Only way to find out is to find out. Nomasayan. Sucked a dig. If you saw me and my best friend, you'd probably just think we were gay. Hell, our wives do. Lol. I've kissed him on the lips. We're constantly running into each other's arms from long distances into a warm embrace. We say love you to each other. We're constantly excusing ourselves from crowds at parties to go wrestle in the front lawn as well. I pretty much am gay for that man. The obligatory not me, but I was in the military. And on my first deployment there was a guy who was choking the chicken in front of a whole squad bay of men, and on a bet from a senior NCO sprayed his clue goo all over his belly. So then another guy was also bet from this senior NCO to eat said clue goo on the promise of no more watch for the rest of deployment. Needless to say, he didn't have watch for the rest of the deployment. After reading all of these comments, I'm thinking that maybe we're all kind of just gay. Finally, a jerk-off thread for the gays. I tried jacking off to gay hentai to see if I was gay. I let an old man look into, and then finger, my butthole just so I could join the military. I felt so used. For the next 8 years. I, straight, was out for a gay friend's birthday party, and unbeknownst to me he put my name in for the best ass competition that was going on in about an hour. Hear my name called, and since I'm a few drinks deep I said frock it. Ended up on stage in just my boxer briefs in front of a crowd of gay men yelling at me with a guy in drag officiating. Got second place and won $100 bucks. Open desert field. 2 a.m. 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Wrapped under a warm layer. 3 guys nuts to butts. Wrapped arms all over. Do you have a frocking boner right now? Bro. Yeah, my bad. Just don't frocking move. Please. Edit. Temps went from high 70s when we started and fluctuated to high 20s and low 30s throughout the nights. Add the non-stop exertion throughout the days and portions of nights. We were very salty sacks cuddling for heat, and I cannot stress how the level of intimacy I've experienced throughout my time was only topped by my wife. I sucked a dig to get a ride to a concert. Just kidding. I didn't need a ride. Had sex with a dude. Shrug. Definitely straight. The only thing I learned from this post is the army is gay. Went to a Disney-themed birthday party with 2 gay friends as a trio of genderbent villains. Was fun. It's not my doing, but there was this one time when I was in college. I got quite drunk after a party. My roommate, whom I think is a bisexual, sucked my dig for like 4 to 5 seconds. Well, he was not drunk and he stopped because I didn't approve of that. We both implicitly agreed that was an accident. Without any awkwardness. We never speak of that again and are still good friends. Of course I didn't know he was a bisexual before the incident. I grew up in a small, very religious town in the deep south. We had a small mall, and on Sundays it was common for little old ladies to meet up there for lunch after church. In high school, me and a buddy occasionally went to the mall on Sundays and fake breaking up near groups of these little old ladies. We'd make it as ridiculous as possible while still being believable. My friend was able to cry on command, so the real tears added a little believability. To add icing on the cringe cake, he was black and I'm white, so it made it just a little more awkward for all the old-fashioned people my town is so well known for. Without a doubt the time in college when I met a guy in a chat room a few towns over and then drove over so he could give me a blowthrob. A guy the first know from college got his dig sucked at a papaya dog after he and a gay friend went to grab food after a party. When asked how it was, he said, "Well, I now know I'm definitely not into dudes. But dude knew what he was doing." Sucked a cock. Does that count? I sucked a dig once. Just to see. It was alright. Didn't make me wanna do it exclusively though. I was at a bar with my FWB, now wife, outside smoking a cigarette when a guy comes up and starts flirting with me. I let him know that I'm flattered but straight. Then he says something like how that's too bad because I've got the most kissable looking lips. So I humor him and say well one kiss won't hurt, and lean in and we share a quick kiss. He goes that was nice. Can I have some more? Guess I was feeling spunky because I then proceeded to make out with him for a good minute while he squeezed my butt. He said thank you and we parted ways. Kissed one of my friend when we were younger under a table. Still gets me aggressive cringe flashbacks to when my mother found us. Frocked a guy. I had a mate blow me one time. He was begging for it. When I had to reciprocate, I couldn't. Also, there was a time my cousin dragged me to a gay club without my knowing. That was a fun time. Spooned with my mate drunk about a year ago at a party when we went to bed. Not gonna lie, it was kinda comfy LMAOO. Had a sleepover with a girl and her gay BFF and watched Harry Potter movies and ate pasta and drank wine coolers. He said it was the nicest he'd ever been treated by a straight guy. Honestly, despite his giant Britney Spears posters, I didn't know he was gay until he said that. I still would have drank all his wine coolers and ate the pasta had I known in advance. Edit. Auto-correct. My buddy and I in middle school used to literally frock all the time. Started as handjobs then blowthrobs until just straight anal. Not attracted to males. It just felt great and we were thorny teenagers lol. Edit. To the people that keep saying I'm gay. I guess it depends how you define gay. I'm literally not attracted to the male sex. Just enjoyed getting off with my friend. I've had gay sex. I was experimental with guys as a teen. I identify as straight as I've always been attracted to women. Especially romantically. But maybe I'm bi. Or just was experimental. Probably 6 with a dude. Just had to see. You only live once. And I want to get off in every way I can. Throwaway account and no one will see this, so whatever. When I was 15 I was sleeping over at my best friend's house. It was very hot in the summer so we slept in our underwear in the same bed. I vividly remember how all of a sudden I looked at him while he was sleeping and thought he was hot. So I started sucking his dick. He didn't say a word but he came in my mouth pretty fast so I think he enjoyed it. After that we awkwardly cuddled and fell asleep. We never talked about it or had sexual interactions again. We're both 22 now. We're still best friends and we both have a girlfriend. I never sucked another dick. I guess what happened was my adolescent hormones messing up with my straight ass lol. Probably when I watched porn with my best bud and we jerked off together. Then he wanted to touch my dig and me to touch his. Okay sure whatever. Then he asked me to suck his dig. I politely declined. Everyone thought we were a gay couple, including him I guess. He was the first of 2 gay best friends I had, and I was naked in front of both of them. I, unfortunately for them, am 100% straight lol. Frocked a guy. I am no longer straight. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. A friend was struggling with his newly discovered unrequited gay feelings clashing with his societal conditioning. He was doing more and more self-destructive things, crashing cars, stealing into houses at night. I sat with him for 3 hours, literally holding his hand and talking though and sorting out his feelings and supporting him. He managed to reconcile things in his head, and found a boyfriend 2 weeks later. Edit. Ah. Gold. My thanks, kind gentle person. Went to a friend's house for his boyfriend's, their gay B-day. And one of the party games was to peel a banana and shape it into a penis using just my mouth. P.S. I hate bananas and this event solidified my stance on that damned fruit. Back in an old dorm. When it was somebody's birthday, at some point during the day we'd jump them and throw them into the shower. This one guy thought he could beat the system. So he stripped naked and covered himself in like moisturizer or oil. That was enough to scare some people off. But I'll be damned if I didn't wrestle an oiled up naked man for a couple minutes so I could get him into a hot shower. Or maybe he was really into it. And tricked us all. Who knows? I recently bought a house with my mate. And we had a small house warming with just one other mate. We were drinking a lot and at about 3 a.m. my mate disappeared for 10 minutes and came back and out of nowhere said, "The bath is ready boys." So naturally we then all hastened to get naked and we shared a bottle of champagne in the bath to celebrate our new house. It was a great way to end the evening. Gayest thing I've ever done is spend the last hour reading this thread, and I'm gay. Edit. Great thread though. Held my gay friend's hand and went into a gay club because he wasn't sure if he could do it. Spent the rest of the evening as his wingman or boyfriend depending on the situation. So I was frocking my girlfriend in the hotel bathroom and wouldn't you know it, the faucet bumped my ass hole while I was pounding into her. I'd be damned if I said that didn't turn me on harder than ever before. So here I was trying to keep railing my girlfriend, while simultaneously trying to frock myself using the bathtub faucet. I didn't know my hips could move that way until that day. You see, I'm in this almost seated squat trying to hump vertically and horizontally at the same time with these big exaggerated movements going backwards. With Maya's hole absolutely puckered for the faucet. Never even got the knob on top in though. Also a miracle neither of us slipped and died. I gave my homie a birthday blow throb like always, but last time I did it he didn't say no homo. I post my ass online knowing full well it's likely other men looking at it. A compliment's a compliment, right? GF asked me to try on her booty shorts. She loved it so she slapped my ass. Sit my butt looked good. I slapped my ass. Sucked my best friend's dig when we were like 15. He committed suicide so there's no way anyone I know will recognize this. I was an actor for many years. So the gayest was probably making out with a guy on stage every night for 8 weeks. But that doesn't really count. It was part of the job. Gayest thing I've ever done voluntarily was a mistletoe party in college. A good friend of mine was complaining that he was the only gay guy at the party. Which was absurd because it was a university musical theater department party. But then I looked around the room and wow, he was right. None of the gay guys were there for whatever reason. I was drunk and I gave him a little peck on the lips and went back to hanging out without thinking about it. Years later he told me, that was like the hottest thing that ever happened to me. And I have to admit I was flattered by the compliment. Handshake for 30-second maybe. Have sex with multiple men. Let my GF give me a prostrate orgasm and the dildo had come lube. It was wonderful. Wouldn't do it with a guy though. Kissed a guy at a gay bar. I was at the bar and he kept asking me to kiss him. I politely turned him down, but he persisted. Just before the bartender brought my drinks over, out of nowhere I kissed the guy on the mouth. Then grabbed my drinks and walked back to my friends. At a garage sale I bought a fanny pack designed to hold camera equipment to use as a pistol case. I showed my gay roommate and he said I had sex with a man last night and this is the gayest thing I've ever seen. I was in the army for 9 years. What others say about the military, at least in the US, is true. There's a reason why they call it grab ass when soldiers are frocking around. ITT. Many examples of men wishing it were socially acceptable to snuggle other men without sex being a part of it. Drank a shot from another month's stretched out ballsack. We called it the bird bath. Having to bathe my best friend. He sprained his ankle and couldn't even stand with the cast the first day he had it. I accompanied him to the hospital and got him up the stairs at his house. So there we were and he says like, hey, I have to take a shower but I don't know if I'm going to be able with the cast. So I replied, well I'm here so I can help you in that matter. And that's the story how I fully bathed my best friend. Jack to gay porn. I thought I was bi, I am still not sure. I had martinis in bed with my gay friend. I'm straight. He knows I'm straight. We watched movies and talked. It was awesome. Sometimes a man needs to relax, talk, and enjoy the little things. Did naked jumping jacks with like 40 plus other naked men. Haunts me to this day. High school wrestling? I once owned a Mustang with a V6 instead of the V8. Compared digs with my friends in the 8th grade. I got last. I was a manager of a cinema. And this tall dark-haired good-looking bloke comes in with his girlfriend. Wow. I said, you could be cast as Superman. Move over Henry Cavill. He laughed a bit and was like, thanks. His girlfriend shot me the nastiest look and I was genuinely confused why. Until a staff member came up to me and informed me that I had just been flirting with the guy and was a step away from frocking him. Hey. Dude would have been an awesome soups. When I was a little kid I was in a park with my 2 best friends and I don't know why. But we decided to do something so that our friendship would last forever. Someone suggested that we put our tongues together at the same time and we thought it was a good idea. So we did. Spoiler. It doesn't work. I was in the Navy and have never lost a game of gay chicken. With that being said, I was married to a woman, had a child, and am now dating another great woman. I am very comfortable with my sexuality. This thread is a lovely excuse for straight to gay PR0N fantasizing. I needed money. So I lended myself to other guys in HS for 10 minutes to do anything with me in school bathroom. I had a double blowthrob from this couple of dudes and made them dinner first. I once went to the pool on the same day as a bunch of overweight middle-aged men. I thought it was weird at first, but I didn't question it. On my way out, I found out they belonged to a gay group called the Bears. Sucked a cock in MMF 3-way, then jerked him off onto my GF's tits. Watched an episode of Golden Girls with my mom. I've never looked at a guy sexually or thought about getting at a man like that. I love women, and everything about them is amazing. But I've watched gay porn before couple times and came to it. Got in my red Volkswagen Beetle and blasted the frock out of some Tony Basil. Hey Mickey. I've owned too many Miatas to confidently claim being straight. Played gay chicken with a friend in front of a bar. We both won. Afterwards, a guy asked if he was my boyfriend and I said, no, just a friend. And the guy proceeded to buy me drinks. I didn't realize until the next day that the drink buying guy was trying to pick me up.